zone.
What up, players? It's the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to another week, man. Jesus H. It is the 23rd day of June, 2025. When's it going to end, Big J? Seems like
week?
Just
Friday?
a week. Every time we talk about things, there's a new week, a new 5-day work week that we have to look forward to. In some cases, 6 or 7 days. Some people out there are working just to make ends meet.
It's not going to change.
Ever?
I don't think so.
Well, then we will happily go along for the ride, because why bother pushing back against that which you cannot change? Agree or disagree, Big J?
I mean, sometimes you have to.
Okay. So do you think
That's how you have a revolution.
Is there any way we can start a revolution against New Week?
No, not us personally.
So these are pointless.
Even after the rest of the world goes through 4 days, we'll still be 5.
Yeah? It's like marijuana legislation in Idaho, huh? Even if everybody else...
Never gonna happen.
Never, ever, ever. Well, then so be it. But welcome to Monday. My name is Nick. Sitting across from me is Radio's Big J. Hey, Big J.
Hey.
Give me the Big J version of your weekend. How was it, pal?
Well, it was okay. Obviously, Saturday was a big disappointment because Social D canceled. We had somebody come in for that show in particular to go to their very first concert with Kylie, and so that was a bummer. So we had a guest on Saturday, and then yesterday I got to get out there and mow the lawn. But there'll be no grade today because...
Oh, no!
In typical fashion of a man and a woman who are married, where communication is sometimes...
You had no idea your wife was going to be out of town?
No. And neither did anybody else, really. Like, she may have mentioned it in passing, I guess. So she was going to Portland, flying back with her cousin Lola to Portland. However, she diverted from Portland to San Diego because her best friend is having a medical procedure done. And so I'll fill in here where we would talk about the grade.
Okay.
I have some important things to say.
Okay. Uh-oh. Are you giving your wife a grade in that segment, Big J?
Maybe. I'll tell you this, though. The lawn looks great.
All right.
At least the front lawn. I mean, it was long, and it took most of the day yesterday to get to.
God, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It sounds like pretty tedious. I mean, we spent a lot of the weekend together, strangely enough. We were hanging out all day on Friday. I saw you a lot of the day on Saturday as well. And then Sunday you were spent on the lawn, huh?
Yeah.
Well, man, hey.
Curating it. Encouraging it to grow.
Giving it all the nutrients it needs to survive and adapt to its surroundings, and making sure that, you're like, hey, listen, I might see you in 3 weeks, a month. You never know, so you better take care of yourself.
Yeah, we did see each other a lot, though.
So that's on the agenda today. On top of that, we have concert tickets to give away. That's going to happen over the course of the program today. Plus, we have an opportunity for you to have just a little bit of fun with us with a little thing called Summer Fun. It's a brand new week. It's a brand new trip. We will fill you in on all the details of where you could be headed coming up this particular morning. But first, hey, it's some music. Stone Temple Pilots right now on the X.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
It's getting to be that time of year, Big J, which is why we probably need to talk a little bit about this story. A man was placed under arrest, Big J, because illegal fireworks ignited a grass fire near Swan Falls and Victory Lane there in Kuna. That had to prompt a response from the Kuna Rural Fire District and the Bureau of Land Management firefighters. According to the fire district, the suspect faces multiple charges, including arson. The fire occurred in the area of South Swan Falls and West Victory Lane, where fireworks were illegally discharged in an undesignated area. That sparked a wildfire and a grass fire, and so you gotta be careful once again. Now, no information was given about the extent of the fire or any structures were threatened. The investigation is ongoing, but this can serve as a reminder where, once again, it's very dry. There's lots of fireworks available. These can lead to terrible things. So try to keep in mind as to where you're setting these things off. Make sure you have precautions taken to keep the surrounding areas around you safe so that it is not you that is the one setting a grass fire or a wildfire off because you wanted to set off some fireworks.
How about get your bleep together?
Whoa.
Get it together and put it in a backpack and just have it figured out. Like, have a plan if something goes awry so this doesn't become an issue where you burn down the damn neighborhood.
Right. Now, a reminder also that, a lot of times you think to yourself, well, I'm doing this in my driveway or I'm in my area and that's fine. But also a reminder that what goes up must come down too. So if you're shooting things off in an area that has a lot of grass around it, even though you may be setting things off in concrete, that doesn't necessarily mean that some of your firework stuff isn't going to land in the grass, and that's also going to be a problem. So make sure you know your surrounding areas at a pretty good clip to make sure you're not the one doing this. Because yes, you may not be setting off your fireworks in a field. Doesn't mean they're not going to land in a field, and that's where problems occur as well.
Yep.
So think about it, please. Big J, when you've won 4 World Series titles with 2 teams, Major League Baseball players definitely want to play for you. And The Athletic had a MLB players poll, and they asked players, which manager, aside from your own, would you like to play for? Now, Big J, you're a big baseball fan. What manager that's currently working in MLB am I describing when I say 4 World Series titles for 2 teams?
I have no idea.
Oh, man.
Dusty Rhodes?
Dusty Rhodes, the famous wrestler?
Maybe I'm getting mixed up with some other Rhodes. Like, I'm so far out of baseball.
Are you thinking of Dusty Baker?
Yeah, Dusty Baker.
No, Dusty Baker is not on that list. The winner, Bruce Bochy of the Texas Rangers, of course, leading the Giants to the World Series as well as the Texas Rangers. Followed by Terry Francona of the Cleveland Guardians, who has 2 titles himself, with 14%. The top 2 managers who wouldn't want to play for, one has since been fired when the poll was taken, Bud Black of the Colorado Rockies. But he has been tied with St. Louis Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol. So not a lot of vote of confidence for Ollie. So we'll see how long he stays in St. Louis when none of the players want to play for him. That's not exactly a great look. Big J, get out of the way of How to Train Your Dragon. It was the #1 movie at the box office again this weekend. The surprising thing is, Big J, we had a Pixar movie that was released this weekend, and it straight up bombed at the box office.
I mean, nobody heard of it. Like, was there any marketing for it?
Well, yes. I mean, I see a lot because I watch a lot of kids programming. You don't, so I can't imagine.
I knew Lilo and Stitch was happening. I mean, I saw that everywhere.
Sure.
So
it's the same company, so I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, Ilio did not do well. Usually they have anywhere from $65 to $75 million opening weekends. This one did only $21 million.
Figure that out.
I can't.
I know the people at Pixar are probably trying to figure out what the hell.
Crazy. But the other side of what made it even stranger is these things are usually worldwide phenomenons, and it made only $14 million worldwide. So $35 million total for a Pixar movie is bonkers. I mean, it's just never before seen.
Here's the thing. Lilo and Stitch now worldwide, almost at $1 billion.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
It's only been 3 weeks.
Oh, and by the way, How to Train Your Dragon also racked up another $37 million to be #1. That puts it at $160 million just domestically. And so that's pretty crazy. Now, 28 years later, ended up in second place with $30 million. Lilo and Stitch was 4th and Mission Impossible 5th. But just not a great showing for the Pixar movie, which surprised a lot of people at the box office this weekend, for sure. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your first round of important stuff. It is the X Rocks. That is 3 days grace. That is May Day here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Speaking of which, Big J, do you still have a disdain towards Trader Joe's?
I mean, yeah, I don't want to go in there. Yeah.
But it's not like you used to think of it as like the worst place in the world and you hated everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I hate going there.
It's still there, but you do, I guess I'm wondering, like, I mean, you don't have any real animosity towards the business, right? Or do you?
You mean, do I think that it shouldn't exist? No.
Got it. But it's not like you like...
I know I shouldn't be going there.
You dislike Trader Joe's for what reason again?
Man, first of all, the stores are really small and people in there move like snails. Because it's either old people, I don't know. The parking lot is just, going through it makes me pull my hair out.
The parking lot is truly the worst.
But it's the same inside. It's like people with their little carts driving real slow, taking their time.
I thought it might be because the products inside are a little bit too good for you and they don't really have like anything that you're really super interested in.
Oh, it's super granola, for sure.
Yeah.
But
But
some of it's pretty good.
Trader Joe's are very, very popular, and they did something that was very, very interesting. Last week on June the 16th, Big J, the Trader Joe's opened up a location at 4119 Riverside Drive. Now, it is literally less than 100 yards away from their other store, 4114 Riverside Drive, that has been around for 50 years. So they literally have two stores open pretty much across the street from each other. Can you imagine that parking lot? I mean, my God.
Pretty dumb.
And that's what everybody's saying. They're like, what the hell are they doing? The proximity, I mean, it's less than a football field away from each other. Why are they doing this? And according to Trader Joe's spokesperson, they wanted each location to be operational. The one that's been open for 50 years has seen a dramatic increase in traffic in the last couple of years. And they're like, why don't we find something that helps alleviate some of that? And they also built an underground parking garage, Big J, for the new one. So there is a little bit more parking for this particular location, regardless of which one you want to use. And they have a kind of goal where they want to open up 5 new stores in California this year. And this is among them. Now, of course, when anything like this happens, there's some things that go viral where there's like one person that's kind of pointing his camera one way and then turns the other way and shows you the other actual store and how close they truly are. And it's kind of crazy, but not the first time this happened. As a matter of fact, not the first time in the Treasure Valley something like that has happened. I point out to you, Big J, the mattress firm debacle. You know, there's a couple of instances where mattress firms are right across the street from each other in the Treasure Valley here.
Yeah, that was different, though.
You're right. It was different. This was
Those were competing.
Yes, they took over another business, and then they took over that business's lease, and therefore it was part of their expansion strategy. This one is also part of their expansion strategy when it comes to Trader Joe's, just in a different way. But it does seem a little bit weird that you would have a location that close on purpose and then play it off like it was on purpose. At least with the mattress firm, we know what happened.
Yeah.
It used to be something else, and now it's that. Silly, true, but it's like you have to wait out that lease, and then you'll close one of them is how that will go. But in this particular case, the Trader Joe's are going to stay open for the foreseeable future, Big J. So if you find yourself in the Sherman Oaks location of Los Angeles, you'll find plenty of Trader Joe's to choose from.
I mean, that also might make sense depending on the road and what a pain in the ass it might be to be on the other side, etc.
True. Yeah. I don't know what it's like to cross Riverside Drive, but the videos that I've seen make them look pretty close, and it's not like the craziest business or road that I've ever seen. So, but I do not know the lay of the land. You're right, but it still seems like 100 yards away is too close for the same store to be. But what do I know? I'm not trying to start any kind of franchise. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, we get Big J's weekend grade for himself, ?
Yeah.
Find out next on the X. That's the Foo Fighters. That is Monkey Wrench here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Usually around this time, we would check in with Mrs. Big J and find out how Big J's weekend actually was, but that's not possible this week, Big J. So what are we doing instead?
Yeah, instead, I'm giving her a grade on being a human being.
Oh,
A+.
Being a
So,
human, nice.
well, a lot of people, including you, I think when you hear the weekend grade, you're probably like, oh, man, how long is this going to last?
No, I know you too, though.
And I know you do, but maybe not everybody else does. I mean, I think I would say these are 95% accurate, but, there's a little hyperbole in some of this to a certain degree. And, I've decided I wanted to take better care of the yard, to save some money because, I want to make, I bought a brand new motorcycle, so I'm trying to save that. But at the same time, just to make the wife a little happier. And here's the reason why that's so important is because she's one of the most amazing people. Like over this weekend, she's got cousins all over the place. And one of them has a daughter. Her name is Lola. She's 14. Never been to a concert in her life, Nick. So Kylie was geeked up. She wanted to go see Social Distortion. So she flew in her cousin to come see Social D with her for the first time, her first concert. What a great show, right? And of course that gets canceled. And Saturday, Lola hangs out. She'll go to Portland every now and then, visit the family and spend some time. So they hung out. We did some things, checked out the town. And then Kylie was going to fly back with her in Portland and see her other cousin. And then, but what happened in the between that time is her best friend, Adriana, who lives in San Diego, Nick, course, we've stayed there when we went to Comic-Con years ago.
I'll never forget.
She's having a medical procedure, and so, she was a little nervous about it. And Kylie was like, you know what? I'm going to go to San Diego and spend time with my best friend to make sure she's okay. And it's like, if you can do stuff like that, not everybody does. And so she's just an amazing human being, and it's the reason I love her to death and will do anything for her, including be berated on the radio to keep myself accountable. That's part of it too. But she gets an A+ for doing stuff like that. And she did tell me at some point, maybe a month and a half ago, I won't be able to do the weekend grade on this day. And I was like, okay, but never followed up. Yesterday when she was planning on leaving, Mason didn't know that either. She had a conversation, I guess, briefly, but it's one of those things where just those sort of situations occur. Us men don't listen so well sometimes. So
we hear it, and then we don't set a calendar appointment, and then we don't realize it's 2.5 months down the road, and then it's out of sight, out of mind. And so I'm certainly would have been guilty in that situation as well. So I don't. Was she upset that you didn't remember that she was going to? Okay. I don't know.
Because it didn't change her leaving. So, no, it didn't have anything to do with that.
Fair enough. But an A+ as a person. And I agree with that sentiment. So is she coming back into town tonight?
Tomorrow, because she wants to go to Post Malone.
Right.
So she better be back tomorrow.
But you're not sure.
Because I ain't going with Mason. That's not happening. Sorry, kid.
So we will see how it goes. But
happy wife, happy life, happy kid. I'll get over it. You know what I mean?
Understood. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your Big J grade for his wife this time around. Important stuff on the way next on the X.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Important stuff brought to you by T Mazda and the pre-owned superstore. Big J, getting financed at T Mazda is pretty easy. Agree or disagree?
I mean, you go to goteamcredit.com and boom, you find out how much you're qualified for.
Yeah, that's how easy it is. Everybody gets pre-approved, no effect on your credit whatsoever. So check it out today. Try it. Log on to goteamcredit.com. And you could be pre-approved as well. Next thing you know, you're driving off the lot in a brand new or new-to-you car, and you're living the high life, baby. Big J, when you get an email that you don't remember signing up for, and it's very clearly spam-related, how do you react to it?
I don't know. It's usually my spam.
And then, do you just let it go and delete it? Do you click unsubscribe? Do you report it as spam? What do you do?
Yeah, I let it live in the spam folder for the rest of eternity.
You never even touch it.
Like the people think, oh, he's getting these. Oh, one day he's gonna fall for it.
If you are somebody that goes through that stuff and goes, listen, I just don't want to get these anymore. Let me go ahead and click unsubscribe. I don't know how I got on this list, but I need to get off it. Don't, at least according to cybersecurity experts. Clicking that unsubscribe button on spam emails, it may lead to more unwanted correspondence and potential security threats. Apparently, 1 in 644 clicks on such links can direct recipients to malicious websites. Responding to these emails can also signal the spammers that you're a real person. And then what that does is it makes you a bigger target for future attacks. And they're like, look at this guy paying attention to his emails. We got you now, you son of a gun.
You care.
So, obviously, nefarious actors could gather information on individuals through responses, like paving the way for extortion attempts. Some unsubscribe links may even redirect you to a fake website or install malware on your device. So, if you want to be cautious, alternative ways to handle those emails are reporting them as spam so they show up automatically in your spam filter, or just deleting them automatically and not clicking on anything in that email to avoid any kind of security risk. Doing our part.
Recently, we had to take some cybersecurity training.
That is correct.
And you realize that if a hacker specifically targets you as an individual, you have no chance.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no chance, because they can deliver stuff in all kinds of ways that you barely have to even open anything. Not even just like an attachment or anything. Just opening the email could have you screwed. And luckily, that's not the case for most of us. We don't have tons of money and mounds of things laying around where we're individually targeted. It's these mass attacks that get people in the scammers threshold. But man, it's dangerous stuff out there, dude.
Yeah, and then, just keep in mind, Big J's right. Like, I mean, listen, sometimes it might feel hopeless, but you don't want to do him any favors either and make it easier on him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So don't be clicking away and don't be doing any of that stuff or typing in your information. I mean, these are things that make it easier for you to be taken advantage of, and nobody wants that. Well, Big J, you called it a couple of games later than they thought, and it wasn't nearly as much fun because of lots of things that we're going to get into here in a second. But the Oklahoma City Thunder are your 2025 NBA champions. The first in the franchise 17 years. Of course, this franchise used to be the Seattle Supersonics. They won a championship there back in the 70s, but it's been a while since anybody representing this kind of team was a champion, and the Thunder are it. They won Game 7, 103-91 over the Indiana Pacers on Sunday, capping a historically dominant year and a pretty impressive turnaround. Now, the Thunder won 22 games and 24 games as late as 2022, and then all of a sudden, the last 2 years, they've claimed the top spot in the Western Conference playoffs by building around players that they have drafted and built on basically from homegrown players. They followed that 56-win campaign last year with 68 wins this year. That's one of the 7 best single season marks in NBA history. But of course, it was kind of sullied a little bit because early in the first quarter, despite putting up 8 points early on, the easy kind of like the breakout star of the playoffs has been Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers. But
superstar now.
It was pretty clear that he had blew out his Achilles in that very first game. He had been battling a calf injury. And it's almost the exact same thing that happened to Kevin Durant a couple of years ago. Also, the exact same thing that happened to Damian Lillard about 2 weeks before the playoffs start. Also nursing a calf injury, came back early, and pop, there goes the Achilles. That's it.
And it's why they shut down Christian McCaffrey last year at the beginning of the season, because he was having similar calf issues. So they're like, no. Don't do that. I mean, it's awful. Once you have that injury, just sit down.
So he had to leave the game. Obviously, he left the stadium on crutches, and we are awaiting basically what we know is inevitable. He's got an Achilles injury that's probably going to make him miss all of next season.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the worst possible injury in sports.
So
right?
Well, it certainly takes. I mean, other than Tommy John surgery, maybe in baseball, it's right up there for sure. But you want to get into some weirdness?
Yeah, let's do it.
So in the last 3 months, you had 3 superstars blow out their Achilles, right? Damian Lillard for the Milwaukee Bucks, then Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics in the first round, and then we had Tyrese Halliburton blow out his Achilles last night. 3 things those players have in common, Big J. They all wear the number 0.
What?
Yes, every single one of them wear the number 0. And in the last 3 months, they've all blown out their Achilles playing basketball, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like Final Destination stuff.
It is. It's definitely a coincidence, but one of those weird things that go, weird, man. All of them wore the number 0, but it's true. They all wore the number 0, and that's very, very strange.
The chance must be astronomical.
Oh, God. Forget about it. Here's something that'll make Big J happy. Jon Bernthal will reprise his role as the Punisher in the upcoming Spider-Man movie, Brand New Day. Of course, Bernthal has played the vigilante in Netflix's Daredevil. Then he had his own Punisher series, and he also popped up in Daredevil Born Again towards the end, and he will be in the second season of that as well. And now he'll be in the 4th film of the Spider-Man franchise, thanks to Tom Holland. That's going to release on July 31st, 2026.
So this is interesting, Nick, for me, because I didn't really read a lot of comic books. The only ones that I read were Punisher comic books way in the early, in the 80s and in the 90s. And I think that I don't know how often the series kind of collided where Punisher and Spider-Man were together. But those set up my opinions on Spider-Man. One of the reasons why I'm like ho-hum every now and then, because I'm a Punisher fan. And so those guys clash quite a bit. And, I realize now looking back, I'm like, maybe I was kind of a bully. Because I think Punisher's a bit of a bully.
Yeah.
To little old Spider-Man.
Well, Punisher is one of those guys, and, he's always been a la Deadpool, one of those guys that walked the line. He did not play by the rules. He's not a hero. He certainly isn't, but he is somebody that got the job done when he felt superheroes weren't doing what they could be doing. to eliminate the problem. And of course, he's got a very tortured past, probably dealing with some mental illness as well. And so all of these things are kind of explored in these Punisher Netflix series and the Daredevil stuff. And now, yes, he's kind of much more aligned with Daredevil in the past, but Spider-Man has certainly popped up on his timeline. And they've been trying and working in ways to, for some reason, Spider-Man seems to be the throughway for how can we make these Netflix characters transition into the MCU. And, of course, Daredevil popped up
Hell's
in
Kitchen. Part of it is like that's the same area where Spidey does his stuff in New York City.
So we will see how it all comes together, but he's popping up in that movie. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We're going to go to hell. It's going to happen next on the X Rocks.
That are incredibly f***ed up. Oh, man, we're going to hell.
Rotten hell, you worthless maggot.
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
To Florida we go for today's We're Going to Hell story, Big J.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I guess, if you are a police officer, you never know what you're going to get. And every once in a while, I imagine you make a routine or what you think is a routine stop. And what you find even surprises you, Big J. And they saw a gentleman driving a truck roll through a stop sign from a pretty significant distance. But they saw it happen. One of those California stops you like so much, Big J.
I don't like them at all.
And so they decided, let's light them up. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's make sure that person isn't inebriated, that kind of thing,
Prime time, baby.
So they pull them over. And as they approach the vehicle, they can already tell this is going to not be that routine because the dude behind the wheel has got a ski mask on. Now,
It's not good news.
it's Florida, so it's definitely not cold, right?
Yeah.
And so it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You pull over somebody that's got a ski mask on, and you're like, all right, interesting. And so they look around the truck. They fly in there. They shine their flashlight in the bed of the truck, and they see things like a bunch of tools and everything kind of in the back of the truck. And they're like, okay, that's interesting. Then they found a backpack also in the back of the truck that contained duct tape, wire cutters, spray paint, and a sledgehammer, Big J. So now the questioning is going to have to begin.
That's probable cause, if you ask me.
So they talk to the driver, who ends up being 20-year-old Jason Vejos, and they say, hey, Jason, what up with all this stuff? And that is when Jason offered them up a nugget of information that he thought deputies might care to know. He's actually, these tools look a little bit weird, officers, but let me assure you, there's nothing strange going on here.
Oh, good.
For the last 6 months at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I've been heading over to my ex-girlfriend's house just to kind of watch her sleep. You know how people do, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, people do that all the time.
You break up and you're like, I just got to make sure they're sleeping okay.
I miss her sleeping next to me, and I just want to see how she's doing.
And so he's like, I bring the tools with me because,
In case I want to kidnap her.
just in case I want to pry open the door and make sure she's okay. They're there as like a safety. I haven't done anything so far. So far, I just kind of sit outside the window and just watch her sleep. But they're there in case I need them. If I need to get in, let's say some creep is trying to get in her house.
Yeah.
Then I'm there to help her out, right?
Stop them.
I know I've got what I need to make sure she's okay. And police are like, hey, that's a crime. And so they have charged him with aggravated stalking, attempted armed burglary, loitering or prowling, possession of burglary tools, and criminal mischief, Big J. So now Jason is currently being held without bail because that's just not something you can do, man. And acting like it's normal is even weirder than doing it in general, I think.
That's he needs help.
And he came the officers were really crazy. We were taken aback at how he was like, I'm just heading over to my ex-girlfriend's house to watch her sleep. Okay. Yeah, you can't do that. Don't be a creep. Don't be weird. Don't be wearing ski masks.
That's another level of just needs help.
Yeah, he's broken. Something has gone awry.
Something isn't wired right in your head. Those are the people that end up killing the people they say they love.
So I'm glad that they caught him on the way. I'm hopeful that he's getting the help that he needs. We will see if this all...
I don't know if prison helps that much sometimes.
No, but one would think if you are that, you would have some sort of psych eval going in to make sure.
Yeah, I don't know if that helps them. I don't know if they do anything about that when they're going to prison.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But hey, are we going to get into the system is broken kind of a talk here? Let's go.
Sure, it's broken. There you go. Talk over.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X Rocks.
Here's traffic.
Jay, sometimes, Big J, we have to listen to our bodies even if we don't want to.
Yeah.
For instance, if you are somebody that works a ton, and I'm talking about, we're looking at an average of over 52 hours a week, okay? So that's about 12 hours more than your traditional 40-hour work week.
Sure.
If you're putting in 52 hours a week, your brain right now is screaming at you to stop. Please, God, please stop. Take a break. And we found that out thanks to a study out of basically Canada that says if you work a bunch of long hours, you may actually be changing the physical structure of your brain. Now, what they did was they looked at a community of people that work a lot longer than your traditional 40-hour work week. Once I tell you this is going to make sense, but do you have any field that you think people are worked to the brink more often than not?
Sales probably?
Nope, sales not in there.
Customer service?
Nope, not customer service.
My wife?
Not your wife. The healthcare industry, Big J.
Oh, God, yeah.
Those workers are the ones that are putting in like 12, 16-hour shifts sometimes, working 5-6 days a week sometimes, especially early on in their careers to kind of get the hours that they need to get into whatever kind of field of service they want to get into. And those are the ones that traditionally work a ridiculous amount of hours. And what they did when they monitored them, Big J, is they showed significant changes in parts of their brain. Now, specifically ones tied to decision-makings, emotions, and memory. That could be why, and basically what they found out is fatigue leans heavily on these particular aspects of our brain as well. And so when you're tired and you're sick and tired of working, these parts of your brain start to work overtime as well, and they start to get fatigued. Their brains were scanned and found to be visibly different compared to those people working closer than a 40-hour work week. And researchers say this is exactly the reason why when you're overworked, you feel mentally drained, emotionally off balance, like maybe you're grumpy or you're able to get upset quicker. It's because, man, your brain is like functioning at a different level because of how tired it is and how much you're working. So it's like, hey, I need a break. And so I'm going to turn other parts of your body against you until I get that break that I so righteously deserved. I'm your brain, remember.
Listen, your brain will do messed up stuff to you.
Example.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk mental health. Let's talk about addiction and just some of the ways in which I've thought repeatedly that I had kicked my binge eating habit, and then it just kind of like changed course and moved on to other things. Your subconscious it's going to do what it's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, the brain wants certain things, and if it doesn't get it, it's going to go, well, listen, this is what you've programmed me to do, and so now I got to find a way to do it. So if you're working a bunch, understand that can happen from time to time. I get it. We all have really long weeks of work. But if you're kind of back-to-backing those things amongst themselves, it starts to turn into something that your brain goes, I'm going to go into Operation Shutdown mode here soon, whether you're on the clock or not. And you need to figure that out, please. So while it may be easier said than done a lot of times about not working so much, sometimes when you own the business or you're the only one there, it's easy for me to say, just put in a 40-hour work week when, you've got to try to keep the lights on and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, know when you need a break and do your best to take it, because you need your brain on your side. Because if it starts battling against you, Big J, you're not going to win that fight.
Nope.
The brain will. And so something to keep in mind moving forward if you're somebody that works a lot. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, some important stuff as well as your pop culture smackdown. It's all on the way on the X Rocks.
She a legend.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, there's new research from Lancaster University in Pennsylvania that suggests that if you want to cool down, you're really hot, and you run inside and you're like, man, let's take a cold shower to just reset the system a little bit. It doesn't work as well as you think. The body's optimal temperature is around 98.6 degrees, of course, and when it gets too hot, the brain signals blood vessels and muscles to activate cooling mechanisms. While heat is lost through mechanisms like sweating, a cold shower can actually prevent the body from dissipating heat effectively. So it does more harm than good sometimes. Additionally, cold water may not effectively remove sweat and sebum from the skin. Therefore, you could have some body odor and skin issues, and some of you don't need any more of that. You understand?
No, you don't.
The study recommends opting for a lukewarm shower or maybe bathe it up on hot days for safer, more effective ways of cooling down your body. So now you know, cold showers don't get you cold as much as you think. You may need a little bit more warmness involved there to let your body do what your body needs to do.
Yeah, but it feels good right away.
It does. It does feel good on your skin. But then if you're like, man, all I do is stink now, it's cold showers, dude. That doesn't rinse off the sweat as good as you need it to.
We use some soap.
Yeah, well, that's another problem altogether that people have. Big J, Kevin Durant is once again on the move. The two-time NBA champ and 8th leading scorer of all time was traded this weekend to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in this year's draft, and then 5 second-round picks getting sent to the Phoenix Suns. The news broke while Kevin Durant was doing an interview at the Fanatics Fest in New York. This would be Durant's 5th team and the 3rd time he's been traded. In all of those trades, teams have sent 8 players, 5 first-round picks, and a first-round pick swap, and then 5 second-round picks just to have Durant shoot the basketball for him. And a reminder, there's been exactly one team where that's worked out for. Everybody else has been, I would have to say, probably not happy with the results they've had in the Kevin Durant era. I think he's a hell of a basketball player. I also think he's a bit of, I don't know, it's just somebody that I don't know would help your team as much as you think they would.
How about this? Not a winner.
I mean, he's got 2 championships, so he is a winner.
No, the Golden State Warriors have 2 championships.
Sure, but he was
I don't think they
big part
needed
of
him.
that team.
They didn't need him to win them.
Well, he was really only on one of those. Remember, he also blew out his Achilles during one of those particular series, and he was out for a while. But also, the team won the championship, so he got a ring there, and then he came back and helped them win. Was the leading scorer on the team, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, who's on Houston? Anybody?
Kevin Durant. Now, I mean, Jalen Green was their big guy. Who else is going to
carry them for them to win a championship? Because they ain't going to be Durant.
I don't think they're a championship squad. But Durant, we'll see how he does. I mean, he always gets his. I'll put it that way. He's a guy that will always put the ball in the bucket. But I'm not sure he's going to get Houston across the finish line. But there's a lot of rumors that Houston may be going after Giannis as well and teaming up Giannis with Durant. So we'll see where that goes, if anywhere. But it'll be an interesting kind of set of circumstances to see. And right now, the Phoenix Suns, after this trade, have like 7 shooting guards on the roster, and that's it. So we'll also see what the hell the Phoenix Suns have planned as they move forward, because I don't know what this does for them either in their particular path for trying to be better. Of course, the team was incredibly disappointing last year, so we'll see what happens. A recent study, Big J, of 246 U.S. film industry executives believe that a majority of them think the traditional cinema experience has less than 20 years left before it completely dies out. Of course, the sales and distribution executives are even less optimistic than that. They think it's going to take 10 years for you going to the movies in a traditional way to disappear. The survey also found that 90% of basically people that own theaters have not recovered from pre-COVID revenue levels, and 81% would like at least a 6-week exclusive theatrical window. But the idea behind that is just after 2 weeks, really, things die down, so you're just taking up space in your theater, and that becomes a problem. You can say that, but if you don't get people in the theater in the first 2 weeks, nobody's going to give a rat's ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it'd be like, well, it'll be out in a couple weeks.
Right. 77% of theater owners say basically if you already have an idea for a digital release for this particular movie, they think it's negatively impacting the theatrical model. So let me ask you, Big J, as somebody that goes to the movies, I would say you and I go to the movie theater way more often than normal people do.
Yeah, at this point.
Do you think the movie theatrical experience is past the point of no return?
If the studios continue to earmark that certain time when it's going to be in streaming and people know when that's happening, yeah, I think that there's a finite. There won't be as many theaters. Let's put it that way. There might be like one or two, and those are special occasions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, if we weren't doing a podcast, what would drag your ass to the theater? Would it just be action movies, or does it have to be a particular type of movie? Like, would you see I know you're not going to see, like, Pixar movies or kids movies,
Yeah,
but
bleep that.
Are you going to see, like, comedies in the theater? Or does it have to be a big marquee event and something that you feel like seeing it on a big screen enhances that viewing experience for you to care?
Well, I think that me not having a nice home studio, movie theater kind of like set up, like, yeah, the bigger movies that are like blockbuster-ish action movies, even though those aren't blockbusters anymore, that's going to get my attention a little bit more than, say, a comedy. But if it's a special occasion, like let's say it's Christmas time or whenever, you know, I mean, we traditionally go to movies on Christmas, you know, then I might go, but yeah.
You're talking once a year for stuff like that. Right. Got it. So, yeah, I think it might be screwed. They're right. I mean, you know, there's also, but I mean, listen, even if you don't have a digital release date set, you know, if it's a Marvel movie, that thing's going to end up on Disney Plus soon. You know, if it's a Disney movie, same thing. Pixar, same thing. So, I mean, there's even like you kind of already know what platform it's going to end up on before you go.
With movie studios now in control of their own streaming play sites, that's where the issue is. Like before, when they weren't like when HBO and some of the, you know, other studios didn't have Max and they weren't a part of it in the revenue stream, you know, you'd have to license that to get it on Netflix, and they would have to pay Netflix to have to fork over a bunch of money, etc. And it was a maybe then it would be on there, not of 100% certainty. Now it, like you're saying, it's a certainty. A Disney movie is going to end up on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes if Amazon Prime's releasing a movie that, like The Accountant 2, for example,
it's already on.
Yeah,
it's
there.
already available for free on Amazon Prime. Accountant 2 came out a month ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a little bit involved in that, too. But also, I mean, when things are disappointing, like The Accountant 2 was, they're like, hey, listen,
Did you watch it?
No. I mean, from a box office standpoint, they're like, let's cut our losses and get it streaming so we can generate something from this.
But they're shooting themselves in the foot because that's probably why maybe not as many people went to the movie theaters because, hey, this is going to be on Amazon Prime in just a few weeks.
Although, I'll be honest, I did not know that Accountant 2 was an Amazon Prime product, so I didn't know it was going to be on so soon. It surprised me when I saw it up there. I was like, oh, my God, already?
Yeah. Well, any MGM movie.
I didn't even know it was an MGM movie. So there's that. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got your pop culture smackdown. It's next on the X.
Pop Culture Smackdown. On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
And we have some tickets to hook you up with coming here in the summer. You don't want to miss out on Slightly Stupid, always summertime when they come. Step into the summer tour featuring Iration, Little Stranger at the Ford Idaho Center Amphitheater. This is happening Saturday, July 26th. So we'll get you lined up with these tickets really easy. You just need to beat Nick and Pop Culture Smackdown.
All right, if you want to get on the phone, you should. 208-287-1003 for these tickets. It might be pretty easy for you to win today and score yourself some summertime concert tickets on us and enjoy a wonderful show outside for the summer. Hello. Oh, that ain't going to work at all. So if you think you got what it takes, then get on the phone and let's see if we can do this. Hello, the X.
How's it going?
How you doing, man? You're up first. Good luck. Oh, hello?
Oh, no.
Hello? Hello? Hello, the X.
Hello?
Good morning.
There we go. Thank God. All right, here we go. What rock comedy film did Jack Black star in as a substitute teacher who forms a band with his students? Was it Tenacious?
School of Rock.
Oh, there we go. Excellent. All right, Nick. I feel you'll do okay here, Nick. What's the name of Jack Black's YouTube channel launched in 2018?
Jablonski.
Jablonski Games, but I'll take it. Right. Jack Black is one half of which musical comedy duo?
The D.
I'll take that.
Right.
Nick, in which rebooted franchise did Jack Black play Professor Sheldon Oberon?
Jumanji.
Jumanji! Yes, that's correct. Right. Jack Black has voiced the role of Poe in 4 movies and a TV series. What's the name of this franchise?
Kung Fu Panda.
We got a Tenacious D Jack Black expert here, Nick. Tenacious D won a Grammy for Best Metal Performance, but for what song?
The Last in Line, their Dio cover.
There you go. That's right. All right, enough of the Jack Black now. Though we think of her as an Australian, Nicole Kidman was actually born in what U.S. state? California, Nebraska, or Hawaii?
She was born in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, okay.
So what are the questions again? Or what are the
California,
places?
Nebraska, or Hawaii?
Oh, my goodness. Nebraska. Hawaii.
Wrong. Oh. What do you think?
Yeah, throw Hawaii in there.
I'll take Hawaii because that's the answer. Nick, Oscar-winning actress Nicole Kidman once upon a time starred in a Batman movie. Do you remember which one it was?
It was the one with Val Kilmer, so Batman Forever.
It is Batman Forever. Right. And I've run out of questions.
Hey, all right, we did it, my friend. What's your name?
Jimmy.
Good job, Jimmy. You went all the way to the end. You got yourself tickets to go check out Slightly Stupid coming to town on July 26th. Hang on 1 second. We'll hook you up with those tickets. And make sure you got what you need. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got ourselves some headlines. They're happening next on the X Rocks.
News you can barely use. It's headlines on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Headlines are as follows, Big J. Get those clicks. Not buying it. And what the cluck?
What the cluck?
There are a lot of chickens to be found here in the United States of America. Even more so, Big J, if you belly up to a table at Buffalo Wild Wings. You understand?
Oh, God, yeah.
But usually they're slathered in sauce or maybe they're dry rub and they're served on a plate. But not so at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Des Moines, Iowa. A live chicken was spotted strutting up to the front door of the restaurant, prompting a call to animal rescuers. The Animal Rescue League of Iowa responded and safely wrangled the feathered intruder before it could enter the restaurant and pair it with celery sticks and some blue cheese. But officials joked that, talk about a chicken on the wrong side of the road. And the hen was described as poor and confused, is now safe and sound. Maybe he's just looking for its friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, chickens know where chickens are. And you're not going to find more chickens than Buffalo Wild Wings. You know?
God forbid it was hungry.
Oh, no. You do not want to have, like, a chicken cannibalism going on there. That would be very off-putting. Yeah. I don't know if I'd like to see that. I'll be honest.
That would be, like, cruel, right? Wouldn't that be cruel?
Feeding a chicken wing? Yes, I do believe that would file under cruelty.
Because I think we would say, like, how would we feel if we were fed human beings and not know?
Like Soylent Green.
Pretty upset. Yeah. Like Soylent Green or...
Yeah, it would not be great. I don't think I would be happy if I had found out I had eaten a human being. That would make me upset. Not buying it or get those clicks?
Get those clicks.
Kyle Vasquez is 21 years old. He was recently arrested in Central Reach, New York because, Big J, he was coming into local businesses, grabbing something, and then dumping it all over them himself. Usually it was food or drink or something. And then recording people without their consent as he did it. Kyle now faces 8 charges, including criminal tampering and unauthorized recordings. He would dump eggs on all over his face at a Ralph's Italian Ice and then go into a Chinese eatery and dump a bunch of lo mein over his face. He would go into a store, open up a gallon of milk and dump milk on himself. And then, of course, he would post it on TikTok, where he has over 100,000 followers, and then monetize those videos of him dumping stuff on himself and then leaving the venue, by the way, and leaving the people to pick up after it. The Legal Aid Society is representing Kyle, who pleaded not guilty. We will see what happens. He is facing a court date on the 30th of this month, but he has posted a bunch of evidence of his own illegal activities on his TikTok, so it might be tough for that not guilty to fly. It is not legal for you to just walk into places and dump stuff all over yourself. And also recording people in certain parts of the United States without their consent and then posting it also is illegal. So something to keep in mind, you future influencers of America. Wrap it up with not buying it. A Florida man needed a break from the heat, and we're not talking about the weather. The 44-year-old, identified only as Joe, knew his angry wife was waiting for him at home, so he decided to avoid her wrath by not going home at all. Instead, he broke into a stranger's house and made himself at home for 4 days. A neighbor who was keeping an eye on the house for the owner who was away noticed some suspicious activity, called the police to come check it out. When officers entered the home, they found Joe in the kitchen cooking up some dinner while running himself a bath. Joel told the cops he had gotten into an argument with his wife days earlier and was afraid to go home. He may have gotten a little bit of sympathy, but then they arrested him and charged him with unarmed burglary, petty theft, and domestic battery as well. So there must be more to that story than what's posted there. The domestic battery is not involved in anything that's going on here. But, a reminder, you can't just break into somebody else's house if you don't want to go home to the wife. Yeah, that is illegal. And then certainly, like, setting up shop there, also a weird thing to choose to do. Mm-hmm. But people are weird, Big J. And once again, it's Florida. You never know what the hell's going to go on.
Yeah, right.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your headlines. You're up to date on everything. Your first keyword of a brand new week with a brand new trip. That's coming up next on the X Rocks. That is Chevelle. That's your X-Fest headliners. Rabbit Hole, Cowards Part 1. Here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, where are we going?
That's the thing. It should come as no surprise, Nick, that us men, we think we know exactly where we're going all the time. In fact, 2/3 of us believe that we're so good at navigating roads, we don't need GPS. And that's comparable with women. Just 41% and 11% of men admit that being poor or terrible at finding their way around is as opposed to women who are much more readily admit that they don't know where they're going. And that's the old, I think, cliche is like, we'll never stop and ask for directions.
Right.
I'm all for asking for directions. I want to know where the hell I'm going.
I am of the 11% that have no idea where the hell I am almost 90% of the time. And thank God for it. I mean, but I've always been that way. Like, back in the day, I was the dude that printed up MapQuest wherever I was going because I truly did not. Still have a terrible sense of direction. I mean, you tell me, you better give me a left or right, because if you tell me I need to head east, you might as well just, basically leave me there, because I don't know where I'm going. I'm not proud of it, but I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses, and directions and finding places aren't them. Thank God for GPS. I use it way more than I should, considering how long I lived here, but it definitely comes in handy.
Listen, map reading is one of those skills that has long gone. Like, and I'm not talking like detailed. I'm out in the damn woods, Boy Scout with a compass, setting waypoints and that kind of thing. That's another level. I'm just saying, like, opening up a map. Like, you ever seen a kid? I mean, do they sell maps still? I think they still sell them.
Sure.
But most people might not, younger folks might not know how to read a map or even navigate with a map. I remember as a kid being with my dad when he was driving truck, and he would always have an atlas, and it would, he was a way early adapter of texting and driving. He would literally have a road atlas map sitting on top of the steering wheel as he's rolling down the road,
trying to figure out what his next turn is.
So that's something that we just don't have as a skill these days. Thanks to GPS, we don't need it, but God forbid that goes down. Look out.
Yeah, no, I would be screwed. There is little to no doubt about it.
Going to another town and just trying to find your way around can be difficult.
Well, I mean, and like also because of that, I put so much like out of sight, out of mind. Like, for instance, I went to Idaho Shakespeare Festival this weekend. I had been out there before, but for the life of me, I was like, I don't remember how the hell to get there. I know there's it's Warm Springs Road, but at what point do I need to get on that road, and where do I need to turn to get there? Those were all things I could not remember, so I used it to navigate my way to there. And I'm thinking right now, if I needed to remember how to do it, I think I could kind of get close. But I was just there Friday. I don't even know if I could get back. I was able to get back onto the freeway without any kind of directions on Friday, so that was a small victory. But even places I've been before, it's out of my mind because it doesn't need to be there, if that makes any kind of sense.
Sure.
I wish I was better at it, but I'm also not somebody that pretends I'm good at it. Like, I know I suck at that, and I don't need to get myself even more lost by pretending I'm good at something that I'm not.
Yeah.
So I will be that guy that goes, let's pull over and ask somebody where the hell we're going if I don't have access to these things, because I don't want to be lost any more than the person I'm in the car with does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding.
That's no fun for me. But I understand that, once again, it's also like one of those tropes that we saw growing up. Like, men don't ask for directions.
Yeah.
Men don't go to therapy.
They don't hug. They don't hug you or tell you they love you.
Don't express emotions. These are things that are signs of weakness. It's just not true. It's okay to admit that you're not good at something and find something that can help you get there. But we'll never do that, because why would we, right?
Well, we do it.
We do it.
So,
But people that already don't aren't going to change.
well, let's see. We got to educate this out of ourselves.
We can do it. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got your bad impressions. They're next on the X. Hi.
Bad impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, and we're going to hook you up with some passes to the Comedy Lounge. Of course, we have them coming every Friday, and they got some some comedians coming up here in the near future that this might be great for. Sam Miller, Mike Glazier, Ryan Wingfield, just to name a few. So, Comedy Lounge. Get up there and have some fun. You just need to figure out bad impressions here this morning, and you're in. Is Nick, you okay?
I'm going to die. Hang on.
Nick took a drink of something and is choking to death, and or wave your hands if you need the Heimlich.
When you called them comedies, I lost it. All right, 208
Comedy,
287 1003. If you like these passes, you got to figure out Big J's bad impressions. So first, let's get ourselves a contestant. Hello, the X.
How's it going?
Hey, man, what's up? What's your name? Oh, you said something there, I'm sure. I just didn't hear it. What was it?
I apologize. My name's Matt. I'm in an echoey room.
That's all right. An echo chamber.
All right, well, good luck. You're up first.
I'm not just an actor, mate. I'm a musician, too. My band, 30-odd foot of grunt.
Ooh, next one, please.
Are you not entertained?
Oh, Russell Crowe.
Oh, there you go.
Russell Crowe is correct. Hang
I'm
on
really
one
struggling
second.
with the Australian thing anyway.
We will get you hooked up with those Comedy Lounge passes. What was clue 3, just for fun?
Quick and the Dead, LA Confidential, and Mystery Alaska. Some of my really good early stuff.
And why is Russell Crowe in the news?
Yes, Russell Crowe is signed on to be Henry Cavill. Well, he's going to be taking on the role of Sean Connery's character from The Highlander. Of course, they're remaking this movie. Chad Stahelski, the guy behind John Wick, is redoing this movie. Henry Cavill going to be the Highlander, and I am so ready for it.
There can be only one, though, Big J.
There can be only one.
You're going to have to decide. Did they say who's playing the bad guy yet?
No, not yet.
Who's taking on the bad guy?
I still think
role?
Yancey could do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Bring him back.
Why not? I mean, cheese it up. Let's go. We will see what ends up happening. But for those, I mean, here's what I probably have to prepare myself for the fact that there's probably 2 or 3 generations at this point that have no idea what Highlander is, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Where it was a big part of our childhood because we grew up in that and we enjoyed those action movies. We knew what the Highlander was. We sought it out. Even though I didn't watch the TV show, I did watch the movies, The Quickening, of course, and enjoyed them because they were fun and goofy and weird, and I enjoyed, like, Sean Connery and that kind of stuff. And I love Henry Cavill, so we'll see where this goes.
Well, here's the thing that I'm excited about is that, like, Henry Cavill, when he gets into some of these roles, like his sword work and what he did in The Witcher was incredible, and he takes it super seriously. So I can't wait to see some of the stuff and some of the action sequences that Chad Stahelski and company are going to come up for with this movie. So I cannot wait.
Highlander is coming soon to a theater near you. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We will wrap up the show here next on the X. Hey, that's the latest from Ghost Lacrima here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. And that's going to wrap it up for this Monday morning. Thank you all for hanging out with us and having some fun. We did have a chance, of course, to get everything ready for Summer of Fun week number 2 as we have a trip to Florida up for grabs this time around. Key West is in the cards, or you could stay home and keep the cash. So you have 3 more keywords coming your way throughout the day. Continue to listen and text those in if you want to get qualified and win a trip or make a decision for some cash like Henry did in winning week number 1. Congratulations again to him. We also had a chance to talk a little bit about why you shouldn't tell, why you shouldn't be creeping and stalking on anybody is a good lesson to be learned from today's We're Going to Hell story. And we gave away some slightly stupid tickets. That will continue tomorrow. Big J, that leaves you with the floor, dude.
Yeah, don't be creeping. congrats to Jack Black. He won a Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award over the weekend for Best Actor, Nick. I think for Minecraft in particular.
That's the same. Hell, it could be anything. It could be also, I think, the Super Mario Brothers movie came out in the same year too, or not, or at least been a year between the award
Pretty
season.
close.
But
yeah.
he also won the King of Comedy Award that night too, right?
Yes,
So
King
he
of
came
Comedy.
twice. Congratulations to Jack Black. I wonder what he'll do with the Nickelodeon blimp. Will it go right next to his Grammy Award, Big J?
Probably.
Do you think it has the same kind of clout on the award shelf, a Kids' Choice Award, as the other awards out
Probably more so.
there? You think?
Yeah.
It's so funny because, again, my child watches a lot of Nickelodeon programming, so I've been seeing the commercials for the Kids' Choice Awards ad nauseum.
Yeah, I mean, you need to get a blimp.
They talk about how vote now for your favorite, and at the end of the commercial it says votes do not count towards winners. So they basically just name whoever they want. They want the kids to take part, but it is not. It's all commercially
teach
based.
the kids lying early.
Well, teach them early on that they think that their voice matters, when in reality they're going to do whatever they want to do anyway.
That's gross.
Yeah, it is pretty gross. But then again, I was like, why am I getting upset about the Kids' Choice Awards? It didn't. I was upset for like half a second, and then I'm like, why am I letting this take part of my brain? Morning After with Nick and Big J. That's it for us. We will see you all tomorrow. Jason Drew's up next. It's EX Rocks.
Have you been